10 people who changed the world. Sometimes changing the world means breaking the rules. There have been key moments in history defined by defined acts, and the results often bring change unlike any that came before. The people who instigate this kind of global change are frequently persecuted and vilified, but this often encourages them to fight harder. Let's take a look at 10 people who changed the world. Number 10. Galileo da Vincenzo Bonarotti. While the history of scientific observation has many prominent figures, few hold a candle to Galileo. The Italian astronomer, engineer, and physicist followed in the footsteps of Copernicus to find better ways of understanding the universe. This ultimately resulted in violation of several rules. As a champion of Copernican heliocentrism, which was theory that Earth rotated daily as it revolved around the Sun, he came into conflict with the Catholic Church by declaring Copernicus' theories proved that the Bible contained errors. Number 9. Gaius Julius Caesar. Looking back into Roman antiquity, there is no bigger rule breaker than Gaius Julius Caesar. When Caesar's governorship came to an end, he was summoned back to Rome by the Senate. He was also ordered to disband his army and not bring his forces across the Rubicon River. When he came to the Rubicon on January 10, 49 BC, he stopped for a moment and came to a decision. Number 8. Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was active in the civil rights movement in the 1950s. But she did not come to truly break the rules until December 1st, 1955. On that day, Mrs. Parks was ordered to leave her seat on the bus to make room for a white man by James F. Black. He insisted she move to the back of the bus colored section. Parks refused and she was arrested for civil disobedience. Parks was not the first person to find themselves in a similar situation. Number 7. Nelson Mandela. South Africa utilized a legal system of institutionalized racial segregation called apartheid beginning in 1948. The system was put in place to guarantee national politics, social structure and economy all favored the minority white population. Apartheid was widely despised by the majority black population, but it was challenging to overcome. Number 6. Mohandas Gandhi. Mohandas Gandhi studied to become an attorney in London before returning to his native India to practice. This proved difficult, so he moved to South Africa, where he remained for 21 years building his practice and family. By the age of 45, he returned to India, where he organized farmers and laborers to protest against discrimination. Mohandas Gandhi became the leader of the Indian National Congress in 1921, launching campaigns to ease poverty and expand civil rights. Number 5. Martin Luther. Few religious leaders have had an divisive and impact on history as Martin Luther. The Augustinian monk became a priest in 1507. He never accepted all the teachings and practices of Roman Catholic Church. He was particularly disapproving of indulgence, which offered a way of an other end to reduce the temporal punishment for their sins, in part in partial indulgences and in full in plenary indulgences. Number 4. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. If the civil rights movements in the United States had a face, it would belong to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Georgia stood out among his peers as a national leader who participated in and led marches for a number of civil rights issues prevalent in the United States through the 1950s and 60s. King was the leader of the 1955 Montgomery bus boycott that helped bring an end to legal segregation in Alabama's transit system. Number 3. Susan B. Anthony. Susan B. Anthony was committed to social equality throughout her entire life. Most people think of her as one of the initial leaders of the suffrage movement, but her work towards equality began with a different cause. Anthony started collecting anti-slavery petitions at the age of 17, nearly 30 years before slavery was finally ended in the United States in 1856. She became the New York State agent for the American Anti-Slavery Society. Number 2. Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci nearly everything Leonardo da Vinci did was ahead of his time. His works include drawings for submarines, tanks, and airplanes long before any were finally created. His illustrations and paintings are some of the world's greatest treasures. One aspect of his work that broke the rules and helped change the world was his work in medicine. Few people think Da Vinci in terms of his impact on medicine, but he was instrumental in helping humanity understand the human body. Number 1. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was born in Bethlehem around 4 BC to the Virgin Mary and Saint Joseph, who raised him in the Galilean town of Nazareth. It is believed that he grew up to follow in his father's footsteps. Despite this, he came to declare himself the Messiah, at first in the north of Judea in Galilee. Which one of them inspires you the most? And please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the notification icon for more interesting content like this. Thanks for watching.